Hello, hello. Wait, let me see if I'm live. That's the problem with Talk Studio nowadays. I mean, the software that I use. Um, yeah, for the benefit of discussion, for those who goes live, in fact, yeah, I do go live all the time. I still prefer. I mean, I have not been using StreamYard for a while now, but I still really miss like the good old time of StreamYard. Everything was so smooth, everything was so simple. I'm not saying that Talk Studio is not good, but well, there are situations where sometimes you might get some delay. Like back then, it was a period of time where, like we had to go dark for like about 10, 15 seconds before I can actually start going live. That was annoying. That was annoying. Anyway, welcome back. This is me, Jason. As usual, I'm a Facebook ad strategist. If this is the first time you see me. I'm from Malaysia. What I specialize in is I really specialize in meta ads optimization, as in like Facebook ads optimization, Instagram ads optimization, because what I truly believe is every campaign, whether it's doing good or not, we really need to find out why, because knowing why it's doing good allows us to really understand what's working and confidently put money to where it's working, so that we are able to see predictable outcomes. Because like in most cases where we see good campaign, most people would actually just double down, just put the money in, put more money in, double, triple. But every time you do that, it breaks because it's not stable. The whole campaign is not optimized. It might be just a week that was doing good, but then the moment you put in more money, if you do it wrongly, then it messed up the whole algorithm. It enters learning again. It might go into a wrong direction, which will not yield you that kind of result that you desire. So knowing what's working and knowing how to scale correctly is really something that I truly believe every advertisers must learn. And on the other hand, when you have a campaign that is not working, what most people would do is, oh, it's not working. It must be the creative. It must be the audience. Let's scrap it off and chuck it away, and we start all over again by putting in new audience targeting, new creative. But you never really learn what really was broken in a campaign that was not working. So knowing why is also the key, because we want to avoid making the same mistake in the future. That's the key. So basically, that's my philosophy when it comes to meta ads optimization. You got to start from learning the why, and then we build hypotheses, we test them one thing at a time, and we stabilize it. Then only we talk about scaling. That's what I truly believe in. So that's how I work with clients from all around the world. Even I mean, my current format is I don't do training right now because, to be frank, there are too many trainers out there, too many coaches out there. If you want to learn normal kind of like Facebook ads training, there are different courses that you can go into. But if you're at a stage where you are ready to take it to the next level, you want to be confident in making each decision, because most clients work with me on a weekly basis. That's what we do. We look at what's working, we build hypotheses, we do one thing at a time, we gradually grow it. That gives you that kind of confidence, and that's something that you can learn. If that's something that you want, then you can reach out to me. Anyway, yeah, this is me going live every Sunday night. Let me bring this up. So it's called Ask Jason Anything About Facebook Ads, or rather Meta Ads. So if you have any questions regarding Facebook advertising, Meta advertising, the first thing I would recommend you to do is please visit my YouTube channel if you have not already. So on my YouTube channel, I've posted over 1,000 videos about Facebook advertising, mainly in digital marketing. And probably I've already answered questions that is related or similar to what you have right now. So if you can find an answer, great. Just get over with, fix your problem, move on to the next thing, because meta advertising, Facebook advertising has got so many things that you need to learn. So solve one thing at a time. But if you can't find anything that is related to your question or the challenge that you're facing, all you need to do is to post your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. So what I'm going to do is on the following Sunday, I'm going to screenshot that and I'm going to bring it up here, which I'm going to show you in a bit. And I will be answering your questions live from there. So if you can join me live on the following Sunday, please feel free to. Otherwise, you can always watch the replay. So please do not expect me to reply to your comment directly, because I do believe technical stuff like Facebook advertising and digital marketing like this are not effective to be communicated via written form. So I would rather to be in speaking form like this, which I truly believe I talk better than I write. That's really about me. So yeah, come back. But if you have time, Join me live every Sunday night. And if you have any questions, if you do have right now, please pop your question at the comment section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the questions I have received over here, and I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Okay, now I'm just going to go through that. Now, just in case, you have some serious question that you want a one-on-one session with me, or you have something that is more private and confidential that you don't feel comfortable going live in the public, that you want to have a more like a private conversation, you can scan this QR code. This will take me to my Fiverr gig where you can book a 30-minute or 60-minute, depending on what package that you're looking for, to have, to have a Zoom call with me. So basically what you can do is you can share your screen, you can ask any questions, you can ask me to walk through, take a look at your campaign setup and stuff like that, anything. Just within the 30 minutes, we can do whatever that is related to meta advertising. So if that's what you want, scan this QR code, and I look forward to work with you. Now, the next thing is, if you are, like I mentioned just now, there are so many trainings out there, but I do have my own way of so-called philosophy or framework when it comes to setting up Facebook ads campaign. So if you want to learn from me, the way I do Facebook advertising, you can actually consider joining my Facebook ads masterclass. Now, this is a recorded training whereby once you sign up, you will get the recording, as in you will get to access the latest version of the training. So we cover 5 things in there. First, we talk about the structure, the framework, which is my 2-step funnel framework, whereby we spend X amount of money on the top of funnel and Y amount of money on the retargeting. And eventually, I will walk you through on the entire setup, what kind of audience targeting we should look into at the top of funnel, what kind of setup it should be, how to do exclusion. And when it comes to retargeting, how do we set it up, blah, blah, blah. So that's the structure. The first thing we talk about is the structure and the strategy behind it. Now, as we move along and set up the campaign, it's going to be 100% walkthrough, yeah? We will talk about other things, like the next thing we talk about here is the objective selection, which I truly believe is important, because if you choose the wrong objective, your campaign is going to go into the wrong direction anyway, no matter how hard or how good is your creative or how niche you do your audience targeting and everything, is not going to be as effective. So choosing objective is the key. So I'll help you understand what should be used and what shouldn't. Then followed by the audience targeting techniques, where I will share with you my signature audience targeting techniques to really help you pinpoint the audience that you want. Followed by the next thing, which is the 4th thing, which we talk about creative and copywriting. As I work with clients from all around the world, so I do have some, latest information about what's working and what's not. I'll be sharing in the training itself. So to avoid making the mistakes, because it's quite costly to make the mistake on this part. And the last but not least, we talk about analytics, which is something that I'm really passionate about. In my opinion, everybody can start running ads. That's the easiest part. But knowing what's working and what's not working, and to be able to confidently make decision on what to do next based on a data-driven, proven framework, is really something that is quite rare to see out there. So that's what we cover in this 2.5-hour, 5-module training. So you always get the latest version of it, which means every 6 months or so, sometimes a little longer, whenever there are latest or big updates when it comes to Facebook advertising, I will be doing, like a re-recording version of it, the latest version of it. So if you sign up, you always get the latest version of it. So just do that. Okay, now, so that's the Facebook ads masterclass. Now, if you say, Jason, I just don't want to go through all the learning, can you just help me do it and I'll learn along the way? Yes, we do have a program called Design and Set Up Facebook Ads Done With You program, whereby I will be working with you and your team if you choose to invite them. So we're going to go through 4 calls together in a month as a start. So the first call is about strategy. I will understand your need. I will build a strategy with you. I will build it. I won't be designing the creative and copywriting for you, but I would be giving you recommendations based on what I believe, based on my experience, what worked, what didn't, so that we can actually make more informed decision from there. So I might even talk about the optimization on the landing pages and all that. We don't talk about the ad itself. We talk about the entire journey. That's what I really like to talk about. So we make sure everything is ready. And on the second call, I'll be setting up the campaign for you, with you. So invite our team to join, and everything will be recorded. So so you know what to do, what not to do in setting up the campaign and all that. Consider this a tailored training. Aside from the masterclass, the Facebook Ads masterclass, this is like a tailored Facebook Ads masterclass for your business, which you can actually use it to train your internal team as you build your team and stuff like that. So and on the 3rd and 4th call, we talk about optimization, analytics, what to do next, decision making, like metrics, dashboard building and stuff like that. So that's what we do in the first 1 month, which effectively, first, you get a campaign up and running right away. And secondly, you get to learn and you get a recording as well. So that's the beauty of it. So yeah, so if that's what you want, scan this QR code. Let's have a quick chat to see whether we are a good fit to work together. If yes, let's do it. If not, then I probably just point you to the better direction to do this, to learn something, whatever you need to, right? Okay. So I'm just going to dive straight into the first question I have here. It's coming from Kamel. You say you want to run 2 different kind of ads and you're struggling to figure out if you should install 2 different pixels on your WordPress site. One of the ads is aiming for leads, another one for sale. You have therefore set up 2 different meta pixels and have then to figure out how to install the second one in WordPress. Now, you do not need multiple pixels for different purposes here. Metapixel is smart enough to know that yes, this website is aiming for sales, at the same time also aiming for leads. You need 1 pixel for 1 domain. That's what I say. But of course, if you have some subdomain, say for example, you have abc.com and then you want to have like a members.abc.com or productb.abc.com. I mean, if it's different subdomain, you may consider having a different pixel, but I would still prefer to have 1 pixel because we want to condense all the learning within the 1 pixel. Because even for your case, now you are actually doing lead gen and sales all together. But both of these products, as long as they fall under the same domain, I believe they are somehow related. Agree or disagree? Now, even for some like very extensive e-commerce websites that I've worked with, now they have kitchenware, they also have like, gardening tools and stuff like that. They are quite diverse. They have a lot of categories, but we still put them within the same pixel because the learning actually benefit the whole campaign to do better. Even, it's going to help one to another. So my recommendation would be 1 pixel for 1 domain. You do not need to. You just need to tell Pixel that, look, this is what I mean by lead. Capture this as lead when this thing happen, when they hit this URL. On the other hand, when they hit that URL, categorize that as sales. They will learn by itself. It's going to be all right. You don't need to have a different pixel. That's what I want to say. But if you really believe that you need another pixel, there are multiple plugins that you can use. Like I use Tracking Code Manager, which is a WordPress plugin that you can actually install multiple pixels to a website. That's completely all right. If you want to do that, that's your choice. But having said that, in my opinion, you don't really need to have multiple pixels. In fact, it's not advisable to have multiple pixels on one website. First, when you have too many pixels, it slows the loading, which may be, like bad in terms of the loading is too long, then the drop-up rate will be higher. You get what I mean? So that's something that you want to consider. Yeah, so that's what I think. I hope that answered your question, but seriously, don't really worry about that. You got to trust Pixel. You got to trust the algorithm. Everything is doing pretty good out there. I do believe they are good, so just go for it. Okay, thanks for the question. Now, the next one is coming from Carl. So I answered Carl's question last week. So basically, it's about when a campaign or when an ad is not working. Carl was saying that he wants to turn it off and let the algorithm does its adjustment and all that, and then eventually next week, turn it back on and hopefully it will be adjusted and it's going to be okay. Now, I stand on, you say I misunderstood your question, but I stand on my answer last week, which is it doesn't matter. Whether you turn off now, next week, it's going to go through the whole, you do not know. Here's the thing. In my opinion, algorithm is such a big thing. And when you kind of like put everything on the, algorithm's shoulder, I don't think it's fair. In my opinion, the best way to really run ads is to let it run. If the CPM is not good and you're not comfortable seeing it, you may turn it off. And I'm not saying that it's wrong thing to do, to turn it off and turn it back on, but you are doing all this guesswork right here. There is nothing confirmed. You get what I mean? I hope it makes sense. So nobody says 1 week later when you turn it back on, it's going to be good. But here's the thing. Whenever you start a new campaign or launch a new ad or a new ad set, whatever, the first few days as it's learning, there is always some volatility in it. As in, like, sometimes it's good for a day or for a couple of hours, and it get worse at night and stuff like that, which is totally normal. That's the reason why the campaign requires a learning period. And that's the reason why we don't make decision based on a day or two data, if that makes sense. Because especially for the first few days, like the other day, I just launched a campaign. Can you imagine my first day? My first 12 hours, the CPM was about like 2,000 ringgit, which is what? About $500? $400. Four freaking $100 CPM. It's totally bad. And it's a retargeting, which is nonsense. I was targeting a bunch of people that I already know and know that it's a broad retargeting, and it's 400. So there are many reasons for such thing to happen. Eventually, it's either you totally feel not comfortable and you just turn it off and restart, which is a sound decision to make, or you endure it. I mean, to me, I've seen another client like the other day, I saw someone, I mean, we got double CPM. Used to have about like $45 CPM for US market. But when we launched it, it was about like 85, close to 90, close to 2x CPM. However, on the other side, all the numbers are doing brilliant. And we got one sale or two within the first, like 12 hours. So on the other hand, although the CPM is higher, it's working because it got us the right people coming in. So eventually, what we did was like we kept it, like going, understanding that, look, the CPM is really high not right now, but we're seeing results right now. So I think it's okay to endure it and for another while. And truth to be true, I mean, 48 hours later, we got back like about 50 CPM. You have to always understand high CPM, low CPM, high CPM, low CPM. When you average out in a week, you got decent CPM. That's the reason why we don't make decision based on a day or two data. But of course, if you have some early success or early failure that you are totally determined that this is not right, I don't want to pursue this, by all means, make the decision. Otherwise, it's totally normal. That's what I want to highlight. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, right? But nonetheless, what I really want to recommend here is really run ads and optimize and really look at the numbers and make the right decision. Don't be too carried away by one single metric. That's what I always want to highlight. Because you want to really make decision based on really a combination of metrics and to be really objective about knowing what's working, what's not working, what's coming in and what's going out. And yeah, build a plan, build hypothesis. Like when you're saying that the CPM is high, like your hypothesis is actually based on a lot of guesswork. You're saying that when I turn this off, next week it's going to come back. Rather, you can actually try to introduce another ads and like what you're doing right now and let it run. And after a while, you really see it's not working, then you just turn it off. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure whether it makes sense to you, but it's really about the decision-making process and all that. I don't want to put a lot of guesswork into building the hypothesis. To me, putting it on algorithm, it's an unknown to me. When it's unknown, I prefer not to back on it. Like that's just me. Anyway, thanks for bringing this up. I like the discussion. But yeah, just in case, if any one of you having this discussion, like wondering whether what you should do with your campaign when the CPM is high and everything, well, you can run ads. At least give me a 7-day data, then book this one-on-one Facebook ads audit by me. So what I'm going to do is we're going to dive into the numbers. If you're not familiar with the number, I mean, sometimes when you might learn about like, CPM is key, it's important, but I also want to help you understand about the, like all the other metrics and how do we connect all these metrics, to really make sense, to help you make decision on your campaign. So in this 30 minutes or so kind of audit, that depending on what package you go for, what we're going to do is first thing, I'm going to build a dashboard for you. As in like, based on your needs, based on your campaign type and all that, what are the metrics that we need to look into? I'll build it for you. And I will analyze with you and teach you how to do that. So basically from there, we'll be able to draw multiple hypotheses over here and say that, let's do 1, 2, 3, in sequence. So you can either choose to do it yourself or you can actually get me to involve and stuff like that, but it's up to you. But here's what you get within a 30-minute discussion. You get a dashboard, you can learn how to analyze the dashboard, and you get a plan. That's the whole idea. Okay, now, thanks for the question. Excuse me. Now let's come back to another question over here. It says, because, I mean, the question goes, can we run 2 websites on the same page? I don't really quite understand, but the way I understand this is, do you mean you want to use 2 pages to run ads for a website, meaning you have page A on Facebook, run ads for abc.com, and page B on Facebook, run ads for abc.com, meaning one domain, use 2 different front end to run ads, which all route back to the same domain? Of course, you can. Yeah, you can have as many front ends to run ads for the same pixel or same domain. You just need to make sure that the pixel is connected to the ads manager. And especially if you're using just one ads manager with multiple pages, it's a lot easier that way. But you just have to make sure that everything is connected. Yes, the answer is yes, you can. No problem about that. Okay? Thanks for the question. Then the next question is coming from Kemi. Kamal, anyway, so you say you have a Facebook page that was restricted from running ads in Feb, and none of the 30 pages Facebook supporters that you have been able to tell you why it is restricted. What you can do, and if it will be open again, do I have a video about page restriction? Now, when it comes to page restriction, there are multiple types of page restriction. So yeah, here's the thing. If it's only your Facebook page that is being restricted, you got to check, are you being also restricted on the profile level? And also, are you being restricted at the ad level? Because the worst one is the restriction at the profile level and at the page, at the ads level, advertising level. These two comes hand in hand, like you will see a restriction where you're not allowed to run ads. You as your Facebook name and your Facebook ad account is restricted. That's the worst case. Now, if you only have a page that is restricted, in fact, I would say 99% of time they will not be able to tell you because they don't know, they don't care. It's really not above their pay grade, really. So what I'll do is, if it's just a page, well, start a new page. Yeah, I've seen so many clients. I will work with clients with all the, like account restrictions issues and all that. So if it's the page problem, I don't care. I just start a new page. That page is still alive. You can still do your commenting, messaging, and everything. It's just that it's not allowed to use to run ads. Usually, it's because of multiple ad restrictions that happens to the page and all that, or maybe people somehow reported your page multiple times and stuff. These are all the possible reasons that might lead to this situation. But it's really something that I don't really bother to find out, because to me, I don't care. I just want to start running ads. I don't really care. Yes, if you have a page that has hundreds of thousands of followers, that's a pain. But like I say, the page is not there. Just do whatever, like nurture your audience and all that. You do whatever with it. But now the business has to keep going. I just start a new page and run ads. That's what I do, if that makes sense. But you got to find out what kind of restriction you have. Whether it's the page level, ad account level, profile level, and stuff like that, to make the right decision. So just in case you need help, well, scan this QR code. This will take you to my Fiverr gig, where you can book a 30-minute, buy me a dinner, of course. Then we can have a 30-minute discussion to really identify and confirm what kind of problem you're facing, and I will actually give you the best next steps. But of course, you can just follow whatever I say just now and go do whatever. Yeah, that's okay. But if you need to really want me to come in and confirm what's really happening, and maybe to build some plan future-proof plan, because we don't know how Meta is going to come in and shut us down again. Like, at least I can give you some recommendation. We will be able to find this. You see, like sometimes it gives you this kind of hints here and there. Then you can scan this QR code and buy me a dinner. Then we have a quick chat. Okay, so that's what you want. Now, I have a quick question over here, which is about how to increase Facebook ads budget. You see, whenever you have a campaign that's working, so-called working, as in like, the results coming in. Excuse me. And wow, looks like it's making money. So let's make more money. Let's put in more money and make more money. Here's where a lot of people screw up. Because, yeah, here's how you increase the Facebook ads budget. First thing first, do not double down. You see, there are many things that will reset the learning of the campaign, which will send the campaign or the ad set or the ad back into the learning mode, which potentially throw away whatever good learning that has been accumulated in the campaign. One is, budget change, which is a significant budget change. Anything above 50% is significant. Change in audience, like putting in new creative, blah, 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 and stuff like that. So these are all the things that will be affecting, really setting everything back to learning. That involves in budget. That's why when it comes to doubling down, it's really something that you do not do. Now, on the other hand, there are certain school of thought and say that now if we are spending $50 right now, and if it's working, let's duplicate the whole ad set or whatever and give it 100 or 200 and let it run. Now, I also go against it because theoretically, we want to maintain the learning within the same campaign and the same ad set, whatever that is working right now. The moment you duplicate and reset the whole thing, as in like you're starting on a new one, right? It's a new one. It does not carry the history or whatever legacy there was it, like whatever that make it work, it doesn't carry into the new campaign or the new ad set. Remember that. So what we would do is we would scale within the same ad set that is happening right now. I mean, I would prefer ad set budget optimization if that's what you do. Meaning like you have a campaign and this ad set particularly is doing damn good, right? So yes, now you're spending $50 on it. My rule of thumb is scale 20 to 30% each time. Do not go overboard. And the moment you scale, give it at least, I would say 7 days, unless you really know things here and there, then you go for like 3 to 4 days kind of, like data to make decision. If you're new, I would recommend to go for a 7-day data. So when you scale, say now you're spending 50, right? Push for 20%, for example. So that makes it 60. Now at a $60, what do we monitor in the next 1 week? We monitor the CTR, the CPM, and of course the across the broad kind of numbers, but CTR and CPM really affects, to really check whether the whole thing is going volatile right now, because these are the core metrics that we look into. So as long as the CTR and everything is good and the results coming in decent and all that, first week it might be shaking a little bit, like if you increase 20%, you may not see 20% equivalent increase in results and stuff like that, which is completely normal, but at least you see some bump here and there. Because we need to really analyze what factors that really goes into or go not into the whole thing that affects the whole performance, the outcome of it. But having said that, this is really something that I really want to highlight to you. By the way, we talk about like 20 to 30%. 1 week later, if everything's doing good, continue 20 to 30% until you reach a ceiling. Then when it comes to the ceiling, then we have to look at what are the main factors that will allow us to split the ad set, and go into like a vertical, horizontally kind of scaling. So at first we will go vertical, keep stacking up. Then we go horizontal, when we are at the ceiling. So that's what we will usually do. But having said that, now right before you go into scaling, I want to really I want to urge you to look at one thing. Let me ask you this question. Now you know, or you see somehow your campaign is working per se. Do you know what is working? See, here's the thing. Do you know what is really working in your campaign or your ad set that is giving you the result that you want? Is it a creative? Is it the landing page? Is it a checkout process? What really is working right now? Now, here's what I think. Before you scale, you got to know what's working, because by then you will be able to monitor the right metric aside from the CTR and CPM. You want to be able to really monitor the right metrics to know that, look, this continues to work or the other way around. You get what I mean? So knowing what to do, which is something that a lot of advertisers don't really pay attention to because they know it's working. I mean, let's put in more money and make it work. But if you do not know what's working or what's not working for the other case, you are putting money, you're betting. Running ads is not betting. It's all based on analytics, numbers. We need facts to help us make decisions. So if you have a campaign that is doing good before you scale, which I already gave you all the methods to scale and all that, I want you to start looking into why, which is really something that I want to invite you to look into, because you need to learn how to analyze your own Facebook ads campaign. Learning all the metrics that is related to your campaign, which is the first thing I'm going to do. I will build a dashboard for you, letting you know that, oh, look, these are the 15, 18 metrics that we have to actually track and put it into sequence, and I would help you analyze and teach you how to analyze. Oh, it's CTR. Oh, I think the checkout process needs a little bit of update and stuff like that. Here's the big drop. Or I'm going to illustrate for you. And I'm going to build a plan for you, as in like, let's tweak this thing first. If it's work, like if it works, then continue. If it doesn't, then tweak the other thing, which is second hypothesis that we will be building. And the third, I'm going to build a plan, at least 2 to 3 stuff that you can actually work on. So basically, this is really where I want you to feel empowered and really know how, in terms of all the metrics. So, or if you want that, scan this QR code. This will take you to my Fiverr gig. All you need to do is just buy me a dinner. Then I will be doing that for you, so that you know what's working in your campaign so that you know what to watch out when you are scaling your Facebook ads campaign. So with that, yeah, scan this. I look forward to work with you soon. So yep, so that's all we have for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. And as usual, if you have any questions regarding Facebook advertising, meta advertising, digital marketing, go to my YouTube channel. If you can find an answer, go for it. If you can't, then just pop your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos, and I'll be actually answering your questions on the following Sunday. With that, thank you so much, guys. Have a good week ahead, and good night. Bye-bye.